Hello, darling. This is River Roaring, celebrating the luminous life force in us all. Hello, darling. I'm River Roaring. Welcome to Dark Side Revealed, where dark means the dynamic of possession and control, and light means the dynamic of love and acceptance. This episode is Our Two Worlds. It's kind of like Heather Has Two Mommies, but slightly different. Just kidding. It's not anything like that. Our two worlds. Our two worlds. Right now, in this epic and incredible moment in human history on Earth, we have two worlds that are starting to disconnect from one another and separate from one another. It's really interesting because I feel like almost no matter who you are, I know in the United States it just feels like almost who you are, no matter who you are, you could be able to sense what I'm talking about, and you may be very well aware of it. So cosmically, spiritually, physics-wise, the universe is, our part of the universe is changing a lot. You know, I think it's because we are moving into the arm of the Milky Way itself. So my current theory is that, like, from sources I've come across, that I feel like that makes a lot of sense of what our solar system is actually slowly moving into the photon belt of the Milky Way arm. We have not been in that light of that arm exactly. Now we're moving into it. It's a completely different photon plasma field. Very different. It's just very different. It's just like it's kind of like it has different laws of the universe in that area. So we are, according to almost every religious belief and spiritual tradition right now, they're all saying that humanity is about to enter this epic shift of consciousness. Things are going to change so much we will not recognize them at all from what they've been before. These are things that are prophecy. These are in every religion, and spiritual systems are saying the same thing, and they're saying it's starting now. And that's what this podcast is about, our two worlds. So imagine two circles on a piece of paper. Now imagine if those two circles that are drawn on a piece of paper are put exactly on top of one another. Two circles exactly on top of one another, and it would only look like one circle. That's Earth as we have been living on it. And now, right now, in this part of time, space-time continuum, the two line drawings of the Earth are starting to disengage from one another, disconnect, and starting to very slowly separate from one another. So that very slowly, one circle is moving away from the other, and eventually they will be separate from one another, no longer touching those two circles. That's what's happening to the sphere of Earth. We have a gentle or not so gentle disconnection of these two worlds happening right now, and they are going to start to slowly migrate more and more away from one another in these two worlds until there are two separate worlds. And I mean physically separate. So what do I mean by all this? What in the heck am I talking about? So let's bring it down to reality 2025. Just look at, for instance, look at the world of the news. Okay, so you have all the mainstream news in the United States where I live is super shitty crap. It's all fear porn. It's fear porn. It's fear porn. It's like fear just shoved down our throats as fast as they possibly can. They want to shove fear at us as fast as they can, and their tactics are starting to fail because people are rejecting it. So you have a lot of humans in the United States who are very focused on that fear by their, and I absolutely believe that's definitely an intentional, it's very under control and possession of a few at the top. That's what's happening on that side. It's control and possession. Does that ring a bell? It's the dark side, which is just simply control and possession. And on that consciousness and focus, it will get worse and worse and more controlled, more totalitarian, more controlling, more possessing, more dark, and more scary. But at the same time that the mainstream media in the United States is doing that, lots of people are not listening to that at all. Not at all. You know, so you have, in fact, the polling shows that very few people in the U.S. are really listening to that at all anymore. Much less than the majority. You know, I don't know, but that's what the poll says. I do know that lots of people are having a very different experience of the universe right now. And I'm one of them. I am having a higher and more interesting, exciting, adventurous, beautiful, multidimensional experience every day. I am opening to new spiritual channels, to new waves of light, to new information, to new joy inside my own body, all the time right now. It's actually even happening faster as time seems to move forward. So have you noticed that? Have you noticed that, like, wait a minute, some people are starting to sort of glom together in their fear and anger, and it's just fearful and anger. One person from that group recently was talking about the obvious polycrises that are happening on the earth right now. I'm like, yeah, that's obviously a person focused on that fear and that darkness, the control, the anger. And then there are these other humans, many, many of them, who I'm mostly around. I mostly connect with online and offline with the humans who are not even, they don't even hardly know that's happening. And I have the dark side revealed because I want to kind of bridge the two worlds a little bit and talk about one to the other. But there are masses of people who are not afraid and are not angry. Just not angry at all. Not afraid, not angry. Just having a higher level love experience with the universe on a daily basis. Doing our personal growth work. Expanding our energy and our light through personal growth work, creating a higher level of choice in our lives and a higher level of abundance in all realms through raising our consciousness together. And that whole group of people, they are just not focused on the darkness and the shadow. So if you can notice that already, I mean, some people just say like, oh, the U.S. is so polarized politically, one side and the other. That's kind of it, not really it. There are two different worlds we're living in, but one of them is even cares about the two teams, because this other world that's more focused on love and acceptance is not focused on all of that fear and anger. And so these are two different worlds. Our perceptions of what exists in the world is starting to change. Some glomming over to this belief of what exists in the world being more and more beauty, and then others glomming together to say what exists in the world is more and more fear. And that's the beginning of the separation of our worlds from one another. And I certainly know a lot of people who would be saying, well, if you're going to live a life by ignoring all these polycrises, you're going to ignore all these polycrisi, I like that word, you're dark, you're shadowy, because you won't help people who need help. So you're dark. And I would say, I get the theory. I do get that theory. And I did used to be that way and believe that. I do get that theory that there's just no compassion or empathy for others if I'm not focused on the suffering and pain of others. And I just realized I just don't believe that anymore. I believe I'm not doing any help at all for people who are in a low place when I focus on that low place as well. So I find most of that concern and care, quote unquote, to be a bit shadowy, and often it is not helping anybody. So for instance, if I'm on the internet and I am angry about all the polycrisi, and I'm going on and on with everybody about how terrible everything is, and I start getting angry at those who aren't helping enough, and then I am already probably burning myself out by trying to help too much. Every single activity I just named is not helping, it's harming. It's not helping raise the love and light in the universe or helping our neighbors to bitch on the internet. That actually does not help anything. So that's a negative on help hurt, because you just lost your chance to do something really great with those 5 minutes that could help, but instead you wanted to be angry. And if you are in sadness a lot of times for all those in pain and suffering, your energy vibration is very low and you're not helping the universe at all. You're actually creating a greater pit of low vibration and down energy there. That doesn't actually help your neighbor either. So actually anger, sadness, depression don't help anybody. What actually would help the universe the most of all is for you and I to individually raise our vibration to the highest level possible, find our unique gifts that we are here to present to the universe that nobody else can present, and gift them. Gift the universe with the highest possible gifts I have to offer, which come through nourishing myself and keeping my vibration high, focused on building and cultivating light, so I can turn around and powerfully serve thousands of people who could use some help. So I really don't believe anymore at all in this fake guilt thing that happens with people saying, well, if you're not all upset about all the polycrisi, you're harming everything. I'm like, no, I don't feel that way. Thank you. I'm working really hard to help as many people as I can, as fast as I can. I'm raising myself as high a level of vibration as I can, so I can do everything I was sent here to do and let all of the wisdom flow through me that was supposed to flow through me to help as many people as I possibly can through the light. And so I'm not concerned about that complaint. And I also want to mention that as these two worlds separate, the most beautiful part of all of it is that each one of us can change which world we're part of in a heartbeat. I love talking about free things. Almost everything I talk about that could help you in the world is basically free or cheap, because it's your consciousness. It's just about learning about it and then doing it. And so how do I jump over from this one world that's always going to become more and more fearful and angry and clamped down, totalitarian and restrictive, because it's a world of possession and control where the possession and the control is rising as the dark side loses their grip on this world, because the worlds are now separating. They can no longer control this earth of light, which people call the new earth, where we're headed. And the dark side have very little control anymore over that. They know that, and so they're going to grip tight, and they're going to try to control and possess everybody even more. And everyone whose consciousness is focused in the fear and the anger along with them will be in that world as it separates. And all of us who refuse to let them control or possess our inner state of being are focusing on this other world's purposes, which are love and acceptance. Love and acceptance is what brings the new world forth. And if I, in any given moment of any given day, find myself focused on possession or control, fear or anger, I have free will. It may take some work to access it and to polish it up, but lots of people are here to help. I'm here to help. Lots of people are here to help you and others access your free will and your free choice, and then step into your free will and choose. I'm going to focus today on love and acceptance of all things. Oh, I wish I didn't have 10 extra pounds on my body. Guess what I'm going to do today? I'm going to love and accept that. 10 pounds. I love you and I accept you. Have you ever heard of what is really the best way to handle a nightmare where you're running from a monster? Lots of us have recurring nightmares. It's like an archetypal theme in our nighttime dreaming, where we're running from a monster or a big spider or some terrible murderer. And you know, if you haven't come across the wisdom yet on how to resolve that, you probably already know what it is, right? What is it? Right? Just with everything you've got, stop, turn around, and face the monster. If you can possibly get control inside of that dream, and just go, I'm not doing the running anymore. I'm stopping right now. I'm just going to turn around and face it. What's going on? And constantly the monster shrinks down into a little pussycat and meows, or says like, oh, I just wanted a hug. Or like, oh, now that you're looking at me, I really don't have anything to say. I just wanted to just let you know I'm here, and awkward silence and sorry I bothered you. Because even the monsters really deep down need love and acceptance, not control and possession. Love and acceptance. And so working to love and accept all things, for me to stay in this, what I'll call new earth, the world that's separating slowly, it's a multi-dimensional separation. And the one is going toward a darker future for a little while. And this other one is, we call new earth, the earth of light, love, and acceptance. And for me to stay over there, I have to keep doing my own shadow work. It's really the hardest work I do every day, is to see my shadows that still exist, the parts of me that I'm not interested in keeping, the parts of me that are still possessing and controlling. Because we're all made up of both of these dynamics, but it's our choice ultimately where to stay. And we can learn how to be in that choice if it doesn't seem like we have a choice yet. So it staying in this world of new earth, love and light, it involves facing all my shadows. And that's a daily cleaning that I'm doing of like, okay, here's more, time to face it, time to look at it, unwind it. Do I owe some people apologies? Do I owe some amends? How can I clean this up? Do I owe myself a cord cutting ritual? Do I owe myself some time in nature to restore my body so I can be strong again and remember the love and acceptance I want to stand in every day? This is all of the work in our higher consciousness, in the realms of consciousness that keep us in the world where everything is looking very, very bright, very joyful, very expansive, very much full of more love, more light than ever before. So I just want to emphasize that you and I, each one of us, we have access to this world of light at any given moment. By shifting our consciousness to whatever's happening in whatever situation, can we love and accept more? Can we find the love in the moment? Can we be with more light? And of course, finding guides and teachers are an important part of this. I must have had dozens of in-person and hundreds of teachers by now in the last 20 years. I mean, I'm always working with teachers. I mean, I have 3 teachers I'm working with right now. So teachers and guides are a huge part of this. People are around to support you and help you if you want to get out of this world that's dark, that's separating out, and it's only become darker. And there's no better time than the present to start moving into the world of light in the new earth. I also just want to add in that I believe, in my perception, it seems like time is going faster. And I've been looking at that a lot more lately and listening to what other people are saying about it. And number one, our tech is moving us faster because it just is. You know, AI is like learning everything, and now they're going to start telling us what to do. So it's all just like, they're like exponentially fast. In like seconds, they can like calculate everything in the universe. So like, they're going fast. We're being moved fast. As well as what I've heard recently, which is really interesting, is that it's actually not that time is moving faster. It's that some of us are starting to perceive more dimensions at once. That's the difference. And it's not really time moving faster. It's that we can perceive more and more dimensions as these two spheres separate and one becomes more powerful, full of superpowers and light. We actually have higher levels of seeing and knowing things on other dimensions. And that makes it seem like time is faster. I've also heard this other really cool theory I really like a lot, which is that these two worlds separating, which is sometimes called like the ascension or the big shift in human consciousness coming forward, has a bunch of different names, tons of names. But this thing that's happening with humanity where we're separating, I've also heard that it seems like time is going faster because it is. And time is going to seem like it's going faster, 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 until it ends, because we are actually coming to the end of this space-time continuum. We've been inside this limitation called time, imaginary limitation of time and space as humanity for so long. But what's actually happening when these worlds shift completely apart from one another is that we are going to be liberated from time, the entire space-time continuum. And so it seems like it's going faster because it's actually going to end once it gets super fast. Isn't that wild as all get out? It's just so crazy. But whichever way it goes, there's a very dark and fearful perspective that will just keep getting more fearful and angry as time moves on. And then there's this other side. So I invite you to the other side. I guess I've drawn this one out long enough, but step into the love and the light by bringing in love and acceptance in every moment of your life. Every moment contains love. I want to hear from you. Leave a comment or shoot me an email by visiting my site at riverroaring.com and clicking Get Started to share your question, reflection, or insight. Together, we can step into the light, shifting human consciousness forever for the highest good of all beings. May the light be with you. May the light be with us all.